Hello and welcome to this late morning taste challenge. I've got two rye, putting that up. Got two rye whiskeys, one from Kentucky, one from Scotland. All right, so this is Woodford Reserve Kentucky Sraight Rye Whiskey, cherry batch. This is a half-size bottle, 45.2% alcohol. It's 53% rye, 53% rye. The other ingredients they don't list. I would think probably corn, wheat, barley, but I don't know. That's a guess. It's from Brown-Forman, the owners of Jack Daniel. This from Woodford Reserve Distillery, obviously. There was some bad news during the week for Brown-Forman. They're going to lay off, I think they said 400 people. They're going to reduce their workforce, and they're shutting down their cooperage that they've had in Louisville, Kentucky since 1945. So no more Cooper's Craft, you would think, which is based on that. So I don't think that was selling too well anyway. So they said, Brown-Forman said they've been experiencing some challenges in the competitive whiskey industry. And I thought, oh, that doesn't sound good. But that was the news. I'm sure the 400 workers are very upset. And that's a piece of history being lost there, but it's intensely competitive in the liquor world. You can't afford to slip too much. So, but anyway, here's the competitor, Johnnie Walker High Rye, introduced only 4 years ago, 2021, during the scamdemic. It's 61% rye, and it's the other 40% is wheat and malted barley. And the single malts in this malt whiskeys are from, well, I think the wheat whiskey and the rye, they might be column distilled. That's from Cameron Bridge. I think Cameron Bridge does column distilling, like just mass production grain spirits. But they got Cardew, Tiananich, Kalila, Klein Nellish, and Glen Kenchi. That's where the whiskeys are coming from. So complex, but the taste isn't as complex as you would think. So it's by appointment to Her Majesty the Queen Scotch Whiskey Distillers, John Walker and Sons. Well, now it's by appointment to King Charles III. This is official whiskey of the royal family of Scotland, Canada, Northern Ireland, New Zealand, etc. You know, King Charles III. There was a news report last month about Cadbury and another British company losing their royal warrant, and they were trying to spin it the right way. Cadbury was like, "Well, we appreciate all the years that we had the warrant. It was an honor." But the question in the article was, why did they lose it? Did their quality drop? Because you have to reapply every 5 years, and then the review board looks at the products, and if the quality is not there, they pull it off the list. I'm trying to think what the other one was. It's a company that's like an American company, but they have a big presence over there. I'll never think of it, but it's but it doesn't matter. But it was interesting. Let's see. I want to see about my volume. I want to make it higher, but I don't want it to be too high. I got a setting on the computer. It's not at 100. It's not even 50%, but it might be blaring. You know, I don't know how it's picking it up. Anyway, I'll look at the playback if I get a chance. So the appearance, they're both kind of amberish, but you can see the I think I forgot to do this in the last. I did forget to do this in the last video. The appearance for this one is copper. That's the Woodford Reserve, and this one is amber, like honey. So copper versus honey. Age statement. There's no age statement on the Johnnie Walker. Woodford Reserve has no age statement. So we know the Woodford Reserve would be at least 2 years age, being an American straight whiskey. Scotland says their whiskeys have to be aged at least 3 years. So we know that one is at least 2 years old, one's at least 3 years old. Price point, they're probably running about the same price at most stores, so that's not going to be a big difference. I did get a low price for the Johnnie Walker High Rye. I got it for $19.99 at Walmart, but I don't know if they have it priced incorrectly. The price has not changed in like 2 years, except it's gone up 27 cents. So every other store is significantly more expensive. Okay, do a website showing right now. I don't know how long Woodford Reserve has been on the market, but I know that it's, I don't, what am I trying to say? I don't know how long the rye version has been on the market, but I know it's been 29 years because the Woodford Reserve brand was not started until 1996. Now, yeah, they try to connect it to an old historic company going back a long, long time, but it's not a, it's just it's a 9-year-old creation. Now they could have been making rye all along. Okay, they might have been making it all along. I don't know. Then there's something about their distillery. You know, there's the flavor wheel. You can see it's strong on malt, strong on. Oh, the grains are malt and rye. Okay, I told you I didn't know what the other grains were, so it's 53% rye, 47% barley malt. Okay, that's good to know. 47% barley malt. Let me update the notes. Wood, fruit, floral, spice, and sweet aromatics. Almond, cedar, and soft oak. Apple and pear. Anise, black peppers, cardamom, cinnamon, clove, mint, tobacco. Really, all of that? Caramel, cocoa, dark chocolate, honey, marzipan, molasses, and vanilla. Seems a little far-fetched, doesn't it? That it's got all these attributes. Won any medals in 5 years. That's, of course, 2025 is just getting started. High rye blended scotch. So here we got rye, wheat, and malted barley, and it's aged in American oak barrels for a number of years. Is it a popular product? It doesn't. It does not appear to be. But then, of course, I'm not sitting there looking at sales figures either. I could be totally wrong, and it might be popular. So let me update the notes. %47 malted barley whiskey. Both are rye whiskeys with no age statement. With no age statement. Aged in American oak casks. And they say first fill and used. So ex-bourbon or former bourbon. My friend David doesn't like me to say ex because he said it sounds bad. I said, but that's what they say, ex-bourbon. Formerly used bourbon barrels and first fill, like they're using them for the first time, American. They didn't say the first fill were charred. They said the bourbon's charred, or of course it might have been charred 10 years ago and all that's worn off. All right, well, let's get to the tasting. I don't have as much confidence as I did before because I got it wrong last time. I got the Ezra Brooks mixed up with Johnnie Walker High Rye. But if you looked at their stats, they were very similar in many ways. In many ways, they both contain malted barley. They both contain rye. Of course, the Johnnie Walker does not contain corn, and Ezra Brooks does not contain wheat, but still got me confused. Now, both of these contain rye. Obviously, they're rye whiskeys, and they both contain malted barley. But the Woodford Reserve doesn't have wheat, so that's the big difference. And it's a little bit stronger in alcohol, 45.2 versus 45. That shouldn't make much difference. Yeah, little rye spice. Not a whole lot happening here, honestly. Yeah, and even less of that happening here. So I'm thinking, but they both smell fine. They both smell fine. And if you wonder why I have my eyes closed, it's because if I see the lighter shade, I'll know it's the Johnnie Walker. They both have a nice aroma, but this one on my left seems to have a stronger, maybe like charred oak, freshly charred oak, which it would have to be straight Kentucky rye. So that's got me thinking that. All right, taste time. Cheers. Minty rye spice. Malt. The malted barley will give it the breadiness. You ever notice most of these rye whiskeys, not all, but most have a green label theme? I don't know why that is, but they just do. And then you'll have other things like rum aged in rye or finished in rye barrels. It'll have a green bottle. Because I was in Puerto Rico this week, and I was like, what is this Bacardi with a green label? Rye barrel finished. I said, oh yeah, here we go with that green. This is much more honey-like, bready, sweet bread, and the soft body. That's got to be the Johnnie Walker High Rye because of that wheat and that soft body. It is. Okay, so that's 2 wins, 1 loss. 2 wins, 1 loss. Let's hope I keep winning. John Mallory says, cheers, Jay. Cheers back to you, John. Thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all watching. Now, I know this is the second one, taste challenge for today, but what the heck, I didn't do anything Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, we did Fandango Friday, and I tasted a little bit of the WD Liquors Canadian whiskey. It was okay. It was marginally good. Certainly wasn't terrible. For the price, $17.99. Yeah, it's a big winner, but I wouldn't recommend going to look for it. So I was in Puerto Rico. I didn't do any live taste challenges. Wasn't about to even think about doing stuff like that. Then I ended up getting stuck in Puerto Rico a day longer than I wanted to. Extra day, which was no fun at all. I like the more intense Kentucky rye flavor. It's more intense. It's mintier. It has a little fuller body, and then you get that charred oak. So I prefer that. Personal preference issue, not a quality control issue. Do I think Johnnie Walker High Rye has good quality with it? It does have good quality. It's very smooth, mellow, honey, bready, soft body from the wheat. It's a well-made product. I don't know if it's worth the $38 that people are selling it for, but it's definitely worth much more than the $19.99 I paid for it at Walmart. So I just ran across it. I was thinking one day I'll buy this. You know, I was seeing it for $38 something. So I was saying to myself, one day I'll buy it down the road, whatever I run across. But when I saw it for $19.99, I was like, well, I'm buying it today. And then my friend David was like, get me a bottle because that's a great deal. He wasn't too thrilled with it. But I did go back to the store and bought, but he was worried it would sell out, but it didn't sell out. They still got probably 24 bottles on that shelf, 2 cases. I mean, they might have sold a few over the years and restocked it once or twice. Probably like once. Woodford Reserve Rye, a definite winner. Now, I didn't pay the full price. I got it at a discount store. I'm not going to name the place, but this was over 6 years ago. And I paid $6.99 for this half-size bottle. I got two of them. So that's $13.98 for a full amount. $13.98. Now, $13.98, you're never going to see Woodford Reserve Rye for $13.98. You're just not going to see that. So to find it for the price I found it was amazing. And I don't expect I'll ever see that again. Now let's check the prices just for the heck of it. At Total Wine and More, common store, Johnnie Walker High Rye, $31.99. That's fair, but I rather $19.99. So you can get it at Walmart significantly cheaper. And usually Total Wine has the cheaper prices, but Walmart's got them well beat on this, easily beat. Woodford Reserve Rye, $32.99. Okay, that's what I expected. And $31.99. So $1 difference. Now, some people were saying, oh, the Johnnie Walker's not a true rye whiskey because it's blended scotch. That's totally irrelevant. It is a true rye whiskey. It's 60% rye. Whether it's blended is almost every rye whiskey you buy is blended. Do they make 100% rye whiskeys? Yes, they do. I had a bottle of Alberta Premium. It was 100% rye. Do I still have some of that bottle? I'll go check later. But generally, you'll find that they're blended with corn or wheat or malted barley or all three of those. There's no regulation on that. All right. The regulation is certain things, but it's nothing to do with what grains can be blended with the rye. Okay. Whether we're talking about Scotland or Kentucky, USA law. Okay. So the winner here is, in my opinion, the Woodford Reserve, but it wins by a little bit. It doesn't win by a whole amount, a whole bunch. But is it worth the extra $1? Well, definitely worth the extra $1. And so, would I recommend both? Absolutely. They both scored in the A range. They both could be in the 90s. So go ahead and do it. Now, since I'm doing Brown-Forman over here, right, I may as well come back with another Brown-Forman product tomorrow, if I get to it tomorrow, which I should be able to, hopefully. And that would be the Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye. And that's from Tennessee, obviously, not Kentucky. I think that's going to be a good challenge to Johnnie Walker. Can't say it's going to win. Now, that's a much cheaper product. I showed you $31.99 or talked about it. The Jack Daniel's was running $17.99. Can you believe it? That was the regular price. $17.99, $18.99 on a bad day. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Rye. Now, Walmart had it on closeout last year or a year before. It could have been 2022 for $9. Not a half-size bottle. Full-size bottle for $9. Well, of course, I had to buy that, even though I still have two of my half bottles, or one of my two half bottles left. But me, $9.99. That's, I mean, $9 even. I'm sorry, $9 even. That's an incredible price. So I had to buy it. Not an amazing product, but really great, good, enjoyable. You know, a really great, enjoyable product is not the same as amazing. Amazing is like you can't even believe it. Like you can't believe they made such a good product. Have I ever run across any of those? Yeah, rarely. Not too much. Beer, wine, or liquor. Not too many amazings, but a whole lot of great and enjoyable, delicious products. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and have a good Saturday. Later on today, you know what's coming on in the world of sports. All right, bye-bye.